Oh, great, I've got foundation all over it. But you never know, do you? Stranger things have happened. You're thinking now, what is she doing? This is really not going to look good. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make my eyes pop and look like I'm red carpet ready at nearly 70. And we're going to model this makeup on images that I have seen of actresses on the red carpet who are around our age. So 60s, 70s, even 80s. We're going to start with a foundation, and just to let you know, I've prepped my skin. So I've got my vitamin C on, I've got my SPF, which I use as a moisturizer because my skin is normal, it's not really dry, it's not really combination, it's not really oily. And just to say, I do have the odd dry patch on my skin at the moment, so we'll just see how we manage to get around that. And also I've got a bit of a problem with my eye at the moment. It's okay, but while filming you might notice that the rim, the bottom rim of this left eye turns inwards a bit, and it's a condition called entropion, which I've just discovered, and it can be operated on. At the moment I'm just relying on eye drops. I'm hoping that I can keep it at bay, but I probably will have to have a small operation on it at some point. Anyway, without further ado, let's crack on with the foundation. Now I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow foundation, which I bought last summer, and it's the only foundation I've actually worn that I've had compliments on. I mean, no one normally mentions anything about my skin or my foundation, but both my daughter and one of my closest friends mentioned that they thought my skin looked really good, and obviously it was the foundation. They didn't specifically mention foundation. So this is the one I'm going to go for. So let's give it a shake. So what we're trying to achieve here, as I say, is we're trying to, and I'm just going to put one pump to start with, we're going to try and replicate the kind of eye look that women of our age on the red carpet tend to have. I mean, obviously we don't see close-ups of their eyes, but what you really notice about them, I think, is that they don't have a lot of lid showing, and also, and I'm just going to moisten the sponge a tad with the Beauty Pie, oh great, I've got foundation all over it, the Beauty Pie setting spray. They don't have a lot of eyeshadow visible. Now, it's possible that they are having all sorts of stuff going on up here, but I don't think so. That's not what I notice in the images. And so that's what we're going to try and replicate. I find it quite difficult to apply all sorts of different layers of eyeshadow on my eyelids because, as you can see, let me just come close, my eyelids are very, very wrinkled. I don't enjoy adding lots of layers of eyeshadow to my lids because I don't think it really serves any purpose. Okay, the foundation is looking good. I don't seem to have any majorly dry patches. I have had some around here and around my nose, but actually they're looking all right. And I wonder if it's the foundation because I haven't actually used the Hourglass for a while. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to use is concealer. I've got this little mini Hourglass. Can't remember the name of it. It was recommended last year by Andrea Ali. I think it was last year. So let's put a little bit in here. Now what I haven't mentioned is how we're going to emphasize the eyes. But we will come to that in a minute. What we want to do is just make sure, oops, I've gone a bit too far there. We want to make sure that our eyes are nice and bright underneath. I have to be a bit delicate with this left eye because I've been told not to press down too hard on it or to rub it too hard, which is not easy when you're trying to get mascara off. And I'm going to set that with some Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. So here's our Hollywood Flawless Finish Powder, which is my holy grail powder, really. I absolutely love it. And we'll just get a bit on our brush and set our under eyes. I don't know why do we always open our mouths? When we set, I say set under eyes, I'm actually setting the eyelids as well because we don't want any creasing, do we? Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take Well, I haven't got a white pencil, I've got a cream pencil, and I'm going to line the lower waterline with it to make sure my eyes look as bright as they possibly can be. So this is a Max Factor Kohl Kajal liner. I think this was recommended by Caroline Barnes a long time ago. It's a retractable nib. And I mean, I haven't been able to get a white pencil, so I don't know whether a white pencil would look better, but I suppose a cream pencil probably looks more natural. We're literally just going to line the waterline. Can you see a difference between the left and the right? Yeah, I definitely think that's worth doing. So let's just do the other eye very carefully. Now this is the dodgy eye, but luckily my consultant said, or didn't say rather, that I couldn't wear makeup. So there we are, that eye is probably a little bit redder, but I think it'll settle down in a minute. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a shimmery colour on the eyelid. And I wasn't going to do this originally, I was just going to use my matte paint pot in Painterly as a kind of just a pale eyelid. But I do think, because looking at the pictures of the women on the red carpet, they do tend to have quite a sparkly eyelid and a palish colour. We're going to use one of the MAC 9-pan palettes. So I think we're going to choose this shade here because it's a nice cool shade, and I'm just going to apply it with my finger to get a precise application. That's a very pretty shimmery shade, isn't it? Of course, I've just realised I've forgotten to do my brows, but we'll do those after we put the eyeshadow on. Just deepen it a bit, just to make sure, and we might just bring it up a tiny little bit. But you see what I mean? When I shut my, when I'm not opening my eyes wide like that and I go like this, you can see that really you can't see much of the shadow. You can see a little bit, but not a great deal. So I'm not going to worry about placing deeper colours here or in the crease or anything like that. I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough shadow on that will stay for a whole evening on the red carpet, she says, as if she was actually going to be on the red carpet. But you never know, do you? Stranger things have happened. Right, I'm going to do my brows now, which I completely forgot to do. I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Little Brow Gel, which I really enjoy using because it's a very fine brush and it's very easy to use. And what I do is I usually apply the colour on first on both sides, and then I brush up afterwards. We'll come back to this brow and we're going to lift the hairs up now like that to give it a bit more depth and interest. And then we'll do the same on this side. That's it. Now let's go back to the eyes, and we're going to make a start on making our eyes pop, because after all, that's what this video is about. That's what you really want to see me do. So let's get cracking. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to use a chocolate brown eye pencil. Now I absolutely love this Beauty Pie pencil, and it is in Turkish coffee, I think. But to be honest, this video isn't about buying new makeup or buying the makeup I'm showing you. It's about using the makeup tools you have to create the look that you want. So any good gel pencil will do. I just happen to really like this one, and because it's not quite black, I think it just looks a little bit more, I mean, it looks black really, look at that, but it isn't actually black, or at least it doesn't look like black when I put it on my eyes. But anyway, you'll see as I apply it. Now I'm going to try and show you as closely as I possibly can what I'm doing with the liner. So let's get cracking. So I've got to pull this to the side. I mean, as you can see, there's not a lot of lid to deal with here, but we've got a relatively sharp pencil. And I'm going to start in the middle here and draw across like this. So I'm going close to the lashes, but I'm also going to come up a bit. So not only am I coming up at the side, but I'm also coming up a little bit in the middle, which I know is against everything we've seen on YouTube, but it's what works for me. So we're really following the line of the eyelid, and we'll tidy it up in the corner in a minute because I know it can look a bit too thick there. Yeah, and you see I've already smudged, but don't worry, I'm going to tidy that up. So that is what we've got, okay? There we are. So you can see we've got quite thick eyeliner, which you're thinking now, what is she doing? This is really not going to look good, but trust me, it will. Right, let's clean up now. Okay, so we've cleaned up a bit, but we have another step to do in this eyeliner journey, as it were. And now we're going to go back to the MAC 9-pan palette, because we're going to use this chocolate brown colour here, and we're going to go over the eyeliner with a nice fine brush. And I'm going to use this one, which is, can't remember, I'll list them down below for you. Right, let's crack on with this. So what we're going to do is go over the eyeliner with this colour here. Now I know there's a mark there which I'll get rid of in a sec, but now that's what we've got. So eyelids are now ready for mascara once I've tidied up. Right, the next step is mascara, because what we're trying to achieve here is really thick, voluminous, dense lashes. And we're going to start with the YSL because I don't think it's quite as dense and as kind of va-va-voom as the MAC stack. So we'll first apply one coat of the YSL. Right, before we apply the mascara, I nearly forgot though, what we're going to do is use one of these little spoolie brushes to brush through our lashes just to make sure that they're nicely separated, because mine do have a tendency to clump together and then leave a gap, especially this eye. Now I have my lashes lifted every few months because they are like stalactites otherwise. You can see my eyelid starting to go in. Can you see that? It's just done it by itself. It's something to do with the muscle. We're going to start with the YSL Lash Clash. There it is. It's a nice thick brush, and we're going to be coating the lashes. And I think this mascara does give volume, but it doesn't quite give density in the way that the MAC stack does, which is why we're going to go with this one first. And it is running a bit low now. Trying to get to the base of the lashes a bit more. Okay, that's one coat of the YSL Lash Clash mascara. Now we're going to take the MAC Stack mascara, and this is going to hopefully give us or replicate the thickness of false lashes. That's what we're aiming to achieve with this coat of mascara. Let's hope we can do it. Can you see they're starting to thicken up? So can you see the difference between this eye with the extra coat and this eye without? There. So we just need to do a bit of eye tidying before we put blusher and lipstick on. Right, the next thing we're going to do is apply some blush, and I'm going to use my favourite, or one of my favourite Hourglass blushes. Can't remember the name of it now. It's not the Mood Exposure, it's the lighter, more pinky one, which I think will go well with the colours that we've got. So we're going to be very careful not to come too far down, which is what I often do. So we're going to go quite high up here like that. I'm not going to use a bronzer. I've kind of gone off bronzers. No, that's not quite right, but I haven't been using them as much. I think it's because we just haven't had any sun in this country for so long. I'm happy to say it's beautifully sunny outside now, but really it's not even that warm yet. So I just haven't really felt inclined to wear a bronzer, but I'm sure I will in the fullness of time. So let's just blend that out. It's a beautiful colour, isn't it? I mean, Mood Exposure is also beautiful, but I think for this look, we just need something really bright. Mood Exposure is quite muted. It's more almost sort of lilac-y, or not purpley exactly, but it's more muted anyway. So I'm just going to adjust the corner of my eyes because I've noticed that actually there is just a little bit too much black in there. So what I'm going to do is get the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte, which I'm going to put on as a highlighter anyway. And what I'm going to do is just take a cotton bud, dip this in here just the tiniest wee bit, and pop it here in the corner. And then we're also just going to put some here, like going to finish off with lipstick, and I'm going to line my lips first of all over with a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, which I think is a Pillow Talk. Yes, it is. It's the classic Pillow Talk. So we're going to do that first. Line the lips. Oh, there you go. And then we're going to go in with Velvet Beauty, which I haven't used for quite some time. I always think of it as a bit of a summery shade. Then we're going to blot. And then we're going to take some loose powder. And I've got this Makeup Forever little mini. And we'll get a brush, dip that in, tap it off and just gently press over the lips. And that will help your lipstick to stay on when you're having your celebratory red carpet cocktail. So there you have it. That is my red carpet look at nearly 70 years old. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because it really helps support my channel. And as a woman touching 70, it really means a lot to me to be able to be on YouTube. Oh, and also I'd be so grateful if you'd consider subscribing to my monthly newsletter. The link to subscribe is in the description box below. Now in that, I share all my monthly faves and possibly some fails as well, but also music, books, theatre, film, TV, and everything else that makes our lives more pleasurable. And thank you again so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And also, I just want to say something about the community that's starting to grow around my channel. It is really small. I know I'm just a tiny micro channel, but I really do enjoy reading your comments and suggestions. And I do take them all on board. And I know that we can all learn from each other, because after all, who am I but just a woman of a certain age having a go on YouTube? I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in makeup, fashion, skincare, any of those things. I'm just having fun, as I hope we all are in this community. And thanks again so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.